So my husband always gets nervous when I wear this dress, and it's because it's my gladiator dress. Yes, it's my Roman gladiator dress. And he's like, what do I do? Please no. And it's not just because he hates the way it looks, it's because he knows I'm usually in a mood. Uh-oh, right? A mood. Okay, so last week I got so much hate on my page. And the reason I got hate is because, well, let me be honest. Lenders hate me. A lot of lenders hate me. Some lenders love me, but there's a lot that hate me. And the reason they hate me is because I'm explaining everything in English. I know, it's so much harder to rip people off when they understand what you're doing. Go figure. And we all know no one likes a tattletale. So look, I'm that annoying kid in class that's a tattletale. Tattletale. So let's do some more tattletaling, shall we? Okay, so today I'm going to talk about a couple reasons a lender may not lock your loan, because I've had 2 transactions in the last 2 weeks where I ended up with purchases that were extreme rushes because the borrower had been promised a rate by their lender, they were never locked, and lo and behold, as they got closer to close, the lender's rate went up, right? So the most important thing, if you get anything out of this video, is you need a gladiator dress, just kidding, is that if you are not locked, your rate they're quoting means nothing. It means nothing. Until you're locked, I could say, I'm gonna get you a strawberry pie rate with 27 scoops of ice cream, because that is the same weight it has. 0, nothing. Sounds good, right? Okay, so until you are locked, your rate that they're quoting you is nothing, means nothing. So why would a lender not lock you? Okay, let's talk about a positive reason a lender may not lock you. I did this recently with a client, Andrea. Hi, Andrea. And basically she was looking at a manufactured house, and the manufactured house, when she got into contract, the pricing was not good. It was the midst of COVID, and I was seeing, with my pricing at least, that what I would usually offer, like usually I'd be in the mid 3s, I was in the mid 4s. And I was like, whoa, this is not normal. This is not something I see every day. I think this is COVID related. Can we wait? Can we watch the market? And I went through the pros and the cons with her. Like, could rates go up? Yes. Could rates go down? Yes. Do I think that this is a temporary reaction to the market and we may see better pricing? Yes. And in her case, you know, I watched every single day to make sure that rates weren't going above that. But I was really lucky in that we ended up locking her at 2.875. So the day she walked in the door, it was 4.5. We locked her at 2.875. Okay? That is when it's really good. But we had the conversation, because there's no guarantee that I could have gotten that rate lower. I thought I could. Based on my knowledge as a lender, I thought it was very possible that I could. And it was because it was a segment of loans that I was seeing perform at a different level than I was used to, okay? However, there are a lot of lenders not locking loans for reasons unlike that, okay? And we had a full conversation. That's the important part. If your rate is not being locked, you need to understand why. Why is my rate not being locked? What are the rates right now? Why aren't you locking my rate? Why? You demand that. You have a right to know that. It's not, oh, the lender knows best, I don't wanna. No, ask them. If I'm not locking someone's rate, then someone needs to say to me, why aren't you locking my rate? And that doesn't happen because I lock everyone the first day usually, but we have a conversation. Okay, so a couple reasons why a lender may not be locking your rate. Let's start with the sleaziest, and I'm gonna make some enemies here, but you know what, sleazy lenders, if you wanna hit a big dislike on my thing, go ahead, bring it on. And if you're someone who actually appreciates learning about this stuff, hit a like, because apparently there's like an algorithm, and yeah, I guess I need to pay attention to that now. So here we go. They're liars. Yeah, for sure. There are lenders where if you say, I'm talking to 3 lenders and I'm competing with rate, they might offer you a lower rate so they get your business, but they're just not locking you because they can't really give you that rate. So they're either A, hoping that you get towards the end of the transaction and you get stuck and you don't call another lender, or the seller won't let you out of contract, or they're hoping that it will work in their favor. They're hoping like, oh, well, I'm not at 2.25 on VA yet, but I'll just say I am, and maybe that will work out. No, guys, no. If you are in contract, on a house and you like the rate the lender is quoting, demand that they lock it. And if they tell you they can't lock it, you need to say, why? I want this locked today. Why can't you lock it? Okay? Now, with brokers, sometimes they can't lock immediately because they have to have a full package to the investor. That's something they should discuss with you. If they're pushing you for docs and saying, I can't lock till I have docs, I can't lock till I have docs, you better get docs to them fast. And then the moment they have those docs, you need to say, okay, you've got the full package, can we lock now? Like, you guys have to follow up on this stuff because this is your money we're talking about. And assuming that the other person has your best interest at heart, that's like assuming a used car salesman has your best interest at heart. Actually, that's not fair. I actually like some used car salesmen. It's like assuming, I mean, you just can't assume anyone has your best interest at heart. Sorry, like it's a dark world we live in sometimes. So you definitely want to make sure that if you like the rate they're quoting and they're not locking it, why? Why? Okay? Now, you also want to try to make sure that you're locked. I usually like to lock people. I mean, rates are so good right now, it's immediate, and we have the ability to renegotiate once during the process, so I'm really comfortable locking up front. But if they're saying you need to be 2 weeks in, you need to understand that, hey, look, if you have a 30-day contract and they're not gonna even lock you till day 14, you're kind of stuck. Unless the seller's super cool, you're gonna be in a position where you have to close with that lender and then talk about refinancing into a lower rate later. I've got a couple of those too, where it's like, hey Jen, they're quoting us that. And I'm like, oh, it's high, but they can't get out of the contract because the seller doesn't want to extend the escrow. So you really want to get that rate locked as close to upfront in the process as possible. And if they're not locking it, you know, like the example I gave you with Andrea, you need to know why. And it needs to make sense to you because my dad always said, ready for a Ron quote? He said, Jenny, if you want to go gambling, you gamble with your own money. You don't gamble with other people's money. And I have always lived by that principle. I'll gamble with my money if I want to, but if it's your money, it's not my place to gamble it for you. It's my place to tell you what works and what doesn't work and what I think and offer you suggestions, but ultimately it is your money, so it is your choice to gamble. Now, if you hear that barking, that is my truly annoying dog, Muppet. If we've talked on the phone, I'm sure you've heard her bark as well. COVID has really made her special. But the bottom line is you really want to make sure you know why the lender's not locking your rate. I was talking to a buddy recently and I was like, dude, what's going on with this certain segment of lenders? I'm getting so many calls from borrowers where the lenders aren't locking their rate. And he's like, oh, well, Jen, the closer they get to the end, the higher their yield spread premiums are so they can make more. And look, I'm not saying every lender does that, but I'm saying there's stuff like that happening in the industry. So you want to make sure if a lender's not locking you, they have a legitimate reason and it's not just so that their pockets get fatter at your risk, gambling your money. So I hope this has been super helpful. As always, questions, comments, I'm happy to help in any way I can. If you want to chat, please schedule a time on my calendar link. Email's crazy for me right now, guys. I've got like every single company in the United States trying to sell me stuff because my email's public and like wading through that and trying to get to you guys. Half the time I respond a week later and I feel terrible because I want to talk to you guys. I want to help in any way I can. I want to educate you guys and I want you all out there making lenders stay true to their world too. Stay true to the world. So please, if you want to chat, schedule on the calendar. If there's no days available, just try again the next day. It's usually on a 2-day rolling calendar. So thanks for watching. I hope this helped, and I'm sure I'll get a lot of hates for this, but it's Tuesday. Why not? Have a great